Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm really excited about our topic. We're going to be talking about the differences between traditional and Roth retirement accounts. This is a topic that people just don't know a whole bunch about, and it takes a little bit of learning and to get to be familiar with it. So I'm going to go right into it. Hopefully, this answers some questions that you have, and well, I'm excited for it. So let's get on with the presentation here for you. So I'm going to share my screen there. There we go. Okay. So, yep, like I said, talking about the differences between traditional and Roth retirement accounts. I'll really be focusing on 401ks and IRAs specifically. I know there are other types of retirement accounts out there that act similar to these, like 403bs and 457 plans, but I plan on making this conversation very broad, very high level, so getting a 10,000 foot kind of overview of everything here. So here's information on resources I used, as well as some disclosures. If you're really interested in it, feel free to pause, take a look at that stuff. I have to put it in there for legal purposes. So first, I want to make a comparison between a 401k and an IRA. These are, again, very generic, bare bones descriptions of these two retirement instruments. So a 401k is sponsored or owned by your employer. Not every job has one of these, but if you're a W-2 employee, ask your employer. The IRA, on the other hand, it's owned by you. Now, in a 401k, you can sometimes get a matching contribution from your employer. It's really common. Employers end up matching a certain percentage of your contributions to your 401k, and usually there's a maximum to how much they're going to do. And since the IRA is owned by you, you're not getting any kind of matching contribution. And then this is where it kind of gets fun. There are limits to how much you can put into each one of these every year. So for 2021, this year, you can put up to $19,500 into your 401k. And if you're 50 years old or older, you can add an additional $6,500. So that gets you a total of $26,000 in 1 year. An IRA, on the other hand, you're only allowed to deposit $6,000 with an additional $1,000 if you're 50 or older. So that makes it a total of $7,000. So that's a big difference, if you can tell. Now here, this is where we're going to take, or at least make some really big distinctions between so we're going to talk about major differences between traditional 401k and IRA and a Roth 401k and IRA. Yeah, yep. So here we go. These accounts act very differently, and they can have a different impact on your retirement. The first major difference between the two is what money is being put into them. In a traditional account, your deposits are with money you make before taking taxes out. So when you take taxes, or when you take the money out later on, then you have to pay taxes on it, right? So you're pushing the tax liability down the road, right? You don't want to pay it now, you're going to pay it later. A Roth account is the complete opposite. You're putting in money that you've already paid taxes on. And because of that, it grows tax-free. You never have to pay taxes on it again. So the earliest you can take money out of your traditional account is when you're 59 and a half. Okay, so if you take out money before then, you're going to end up having to pay 10% as an early withdrawal penalty. Sometimes, okay, a little caveat there with the asterisk down at the bottom. There are a few exceptions that allow you to take money out of there without the early withdrawal penalty. For example, if you use some of those funds for a down payment on your first home. Otherwise, you'll be paying taxes and a 10% fee. Now, the Roth accounts, you can take out the money you deposited, or what's also called principal. You can take out the principal at any time without paying a penalty and without paying taxes, because you've already paid the taxes on it. However, you can't touch the part of the money that grew until you're 59 and a half either. In addition to this 59 and a half rule, the account must have been open for at least 5 years. So, for example, if you're 57 and you open a Roth account, you'll have to wait until you're 62 to take the growth out of there income tax free. But if you're over age 59 and a half, regardless whether you've met the 5-year holding requirement or not, the withdrawals are always penalty free. The growth is also tax free. In your traditional account, you're forced to take money out starting at age 72. This is called a required minimum distribution. A lot of times it's just called an RMD, and that's what I'm going to call it from here on out. So RMDs are calculated based on the account value and your age. So it'll vary. From year to year, it'll vary. This is an important piece to proper retirement planning. On the Roth side, there is an RMD for a Roth 401k, but there is not for a Roth IRA. In other words, your Roth IRA can just continue to grow for your lifetime. There's also a little caveat to having a Roth IRA. If you're single and make more than $140,000, you're not going to be able to contribute to a Roth IRA. The same thing goes for those that are married and your household income is more than $208,000. You can't have a Roth IRA either. You can do what's called a Roth conversion, but that's a whole other topic, and that might be another video at some point. So stay tuned for that, or reach out to me, we can talk about it. So here you have some major differences between a traditional 401k and IRA and a Roth 401k and IRA. And you may be asking yourself this question: how do I decide what to do? And I say that's a great thing to be asking yourself. And my suggestion is, let's talk. Reach out to me. If you have questions about your current 401k IRA, I'm more than happy to talk with you and answer any questions you have. So call me, my phone number's there, email me, email's there. Visit my website that has links to my other social media pages. Reach out to me. Forward this video to anyone else that you think might like to hear and learn about some traditional and Roth retirement account facts. All right, thank you so much for listening and watching today. If you're interested, I'm always trying to get more topics and videos out more or less on a weekly basis. So I am always happy to hear any kind of input on what topics you'd like to hear about. And so subscribe to the videos as well. Thanks, everybody.